But I'm alive now. I don't know. Yes, it says I'm live. I'm going to just assume it is. Hello, everybody. My show is live. My people are here. Yay, where are my people at? They're here. And they're both from America. One of them just got here, so he might be a little bit jet lagged. But he's an improviser. He said he knows. No, not jet lagged. Okay, no. Anyway, so we've got Amanda Ladd, who is at the street. And we've got Chris, who turns out to be at CC Bloom's. I looked at the wrong thing and I thought he was at a paid venue. So I've got two PBH free fringes. Yay! And this is on the virtual free fringe. So yeah. If you go to the website my joke, it's everywhere. I can't even remember. I'll sort it out in the end. Right. So we're going to talk to the people that are on the fringe about their experiences of the fringe and their shows on the fringe. And everything's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm going to just talk to you both to start with, and then we'll see how it goes. Amanda, hello. You're at the street. What's your show called?
My show is called the Azure Sky in Oz, Yellow and Special. It's actually two one-woman shows, and I'm doing alternating performances, but the whole show is called the Azure Sky in Oz.
Ooh, that's exciting. And Chris, what's your show?
We are the Best Approximation Presents the Tiny Orange. It's a science-themed improv comedy show.
Wow, that's exciting. So you both got
a mouthful too.
It's a mouthful. It's a massive mouthful. This is orange, and a mouthful of orange is very nice indeed. So that's very good. So you've got various people in yours, Chris, and you're doing a solo show, Amanda. Is that right?
That's
right. So there's going to be different experiences for you for the whole thing. It's very different dynamic when you've got a solo show to when you've got lots of people to help you to fly and do things. Right. So you've both.
It's a blessing and a curse. I being here, this is my first time at the Fringe.
I was going to ask you.
Around all of these theater people, I'm just like, oh, I want to be part of your world. But, I'm in my own sort of bubble. So I've had to work really hard at putting myself out there to be like, hey, tell me about your show. Let's have a drink together. Because I'm a theater person. I want to have a cast, but alas, it's just me. And I love that too. It's its own thing.
Well, networking is important. Also, the street where you are at in Edinburgh at the moment is very near. Oh, Chris has disappeared. He'll come back, I'm sure. It's very near a lot of other shows that are going on this year because the Fringe, normally everyone's like, oh, I want to be on the Royal Mile, which is what I think, you see the Royal Mile. It's the heart of it. But everything is going to be moving at different places. Hello, Barry Grump. Is the Fringe still dominated by the god-awful Cambridge Footlights? Oh, don't say that about the Cambridge Footlights. Okay. But I'm just responding to it. Anyway, it's all moved. So I'm hoping that he'll come back. Anyway, it's just me and Amanda for the moment until that gets sorted. It has all moved towards where you are at the street. A few years, it's been sort of, people have been like, I don't want to be in that area because it's so far out. But now we've got the Omni Centre. The Fringe Central is right there. And there's the whole, the St. James, the St. James complex. Yeah. So everything's going to be moving towards Newtown. So because you haven't been here before, you won't even know this, but everyone's very much like, Newtown, I don't want to be far away. But if you're actually in Edinburgh yourself and you're from Edinburgh, the Newtown's where it's at. So you would have in previous years mostly got people that were Edinburgh based, which is great. But now, who even knows? It's a whole, as you said, a whole new world. It's going to be
a whole new world. It's such a wonderful. It has a small town. Coming from New York City, Edinburgh definitely feels like a small town. But with all of the stuff going on, I don't even feel like the street is that far off of the beaten track. And I love that it's a nightclub. It's a very strange venue for my particular show, but I welcome it. I'm excited about it.
Okay, and we've got Chris back. I'm going to add him back to the stream. Hello, Chris. We were just talking about Edinburgh, and you're in the same area. CC Bloom's also in the area where it's like the heart of the whole Fringe this year, whereas in previous years it might have been a little bit out. I know I had a show at Edinburgh Football Club, which I thought was going to be like a stadium gig one year, which is, I think, next to CC Bloom's. It's actually like a little working men's club where you should just go in. You can't even see it. There's a little tiny gateway and it looks like somebody's house, and you go up there and it's like, this is my venue? What? I'm not sure it's a venue this year, which is just as well, but there's it felt very far away, even though it's right next to the theatre and the Omni Centre. But now I think it's going to be it's going to be kicking off because you've got all the stages and stuff. I haven't seen them, but I
just walked by there a few minutes ago before this broadcast. It really looks amazing. There's a couple really great theaters right nearby, and it looks like a really good hub activity. We feel so lucky to be there at CC Bloom, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know when I programmed the shows in CC Blooms, I was a bit worried because I didn't know that it was going to be such a hub. I was like, people are going to be angry at me that it's so far away, but it's not far away. And I feel so happy that it's not far away. Oh.
So the reason, at least when I did this earlier to you, when you said I was jet lagged, I actually flew in from Dublin, because that's where I live now, but I am American.
Oh, no. Well, I was just confused. There's still like an hour's difference possibly.
You did pick it up from my accent, so you got that one.
I'm completely mistaken. I just assumed I had two people flying straight in from America and just come. It's fine. But Amanda, you've been here a couple of days. So what's your experience so far of the whole thing?
Well, yeah, I got here on about a week ago, and it's been good. I had my tech flew in from Florida. Actually, I did my one woman show down in Florida for the first time in December, and so I met this wonderful guy who is going to grad school at UF, and he was like, "I want to come," and I was like, great, because I'm all by myself. So he came, and we've just been working on the show and rehearsing a little bit before it opens. And I've definitely simplified it way down because I was able to see the venue and understand what I had going on. And simplicity is our friend here at the Free French. So that has been crucial for my comfortability and like feeling really excited about it rather than, my hair is on fire. So that's what this week has been for me, is just sort of settling in and eating really good food. That was the sleeper hit for me. The food here is amazing. The Edinburgh larder is like so delicious. What else did I have? That Fisher's, the oysters there were just mwah. I love the food here. I'm really enjoying the cuisine.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, any haggis yet? Have you tried the haggis?
I don't eat beef or pork, so I've had the veggie haggis, and it was.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can't complain because there is veggie haggis and it's pretty good.
There is, for sure. I mean, there's even a pizza place right out here in the Royal Mile that has haggis pizza, so that's kind of bananas for me. But okay.
Yeah, you can get anything with haggis and most things fried, and that's good. If you don't want them fried or with haggis, then there's the option to not have that as well, really. Hello from the Bahamas. Somebody said, oh, this is an international audience. You're in Scotland, and you're from Dublin as well, and you're from America, and I'm actually in Wales at the moment. But two of you are in Scotland, and somebody's from the Bahamas. Wow. It's all kicking off, right? So your shows are both starting today, is that right, Amanda? And then
tomorrow, because the street is closed today. I think that they like preemptively decided, or they decide every year to not be open on the first day. I don't understand why, but it's fine. I'm happy to go see shows on the opening eve and then be able to get my feet wet tomorrow.
Yeah, so that again, because you're from the 6th till the end of the month, and Chris, you're from the 7th till the end of the month, and Chris, you're from the 6th till the 13th. So if you're up in Edinburgh, so you need to see yours. Yours is at 6:45, Chris, and yours is at 6:30, Amanda. Yeah. So Chris, what are you planning? It's an improvisational show, but do you have plans in advance of what you're hoping it will go like?
Well, we do have a theme and we do have a format. So basically we're a group of scientists who came together in Cambridge. We all have practiced science or done things like, I actually was a science teacher for a bit. We started practicing literally about a week before the pandemic started. We got our one real life rehearsal in, and then we just, we're like, what are we gonna do? Let's start practicing offline and Zoom, and we kept that up for a good 2 years. And we developed a couple different forms. One of them we call the Tiny Orange, which is where the name of our show comes from, and it's a sort of mixture of like really short gamey kind of scenes with some like long form ideas, and then we kind of do our like more longer piece, which is going to be, we'll take the suggestion from the audience of anything that you use maybe in your day-to-day life, something you want to know the story of how it was invented, And we're going to hope that people don't all say iPhone or dildo, hopefully, which is, we'll have to tell them, no, this is a 12+ show. But then we will improvise the true retelling of how this thing was invented. And hopefully we'll get to use some of our science knowledge and make it a bit science themed and give some treats for the people who know their science in the audience. And hopefully it will also be funny and enjoyable.
Oh yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yours has got an educational bent to it, your show as well, doesn't it, Amanda?
A little bit. So I play two women. In the Azure Sky in Oz Yellow, I play a woman named Michelle Fulner Castro, who's a visual artist who lives in California. And she is the mother of a profoundly autistic son. And it's about her life as a mother and an artist who said autistic son and how hard it is. It's already hard to be an artist and a mom. And then adding that on top of it is tough. The second show, the Azure Sky in Oz special, is about Mary Tilford, and she's a special education teacher who lives in Deltona, Florida, and she decides to do The Wizard of Oz with her students. Both are true stories, and so it's about her work with intellectually disabled kids, and she is maybe the best person that I've ever met in the world. So I feel very honored to be playing these real women. But yeah, it is about the educational system in both pieces, because it's about what's missing, especially in the United States, as far as support for those who are neurodivergent, intellectually disabled, and autistic. It talks about the school systems, what works in certain states, what doesn't work in other states, and the hoops that the caretakers and the teachers have to fight for to get the resources they need for their students. So it's also, even though it sounds really heavy, it's a drama, but it is very funny. It's a comedy, because working with intellectually disabled kids, you know that there's going to be some funny stuff that happens. And it's the Wizard of Oz. It's such a joy to portray the different kids that she works with, because it's
wow.
So that's fun.
Oh right, so you're playing multiple characters in the one show then?
Yes, both. Ooh. I play multiple characters, but it's all within the one character. It's basically like possession.
Yeah, the character retelling what? Yeah, it's yes, that sounds amazing.
Can I ask Amanda something?
Yes, of course.
How do you even start to develop a one-person show? Like, where does it start with the idea, and do you write it all down? Is it a bit of workshopping of characters?
So I did not write this piece. The writer's name is William Levengood, and he's a 2-time Eugene O'Neill award-winning, nationally awarded playwright. And he is a dear friend of mine. And we developed this piece at New Circle Theater Company in New York City, which is an ascending version of Circle Rep, which was really big back in the 80s and 90s. And so, I'm originally from St. Pete, Florida, and so is he, but we met in New York City. And both of the women that I play are Florida women who I've met, who actually, Michelle, I think, is actually coming to Edinburgh to see the show from California, which is amazing. So that's how it came to be. That's the way it was developed. And I've had these amazing resources to be able to talk to these women, which I worked on the play and created the characters before I met them, because I didn't want to do an impersonation. And his writing is so crystal clear that when I met them, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing them. It was already in the script. So crystal clear that I didn't have to work very hard at this. And by doing it down in Florida, especially, I'm an actor. I want attention. I want butts and seats. I want to work as much as I possibly can, especially after 2 years of a pandemic. That was my first job on stage after sitting on my butt for a really long time. And so, I all of a sudden was meeting these people and these families who either have someone autistic in their family or, are teachers to other intellectually disabled people. And I realized the responsibility that this show carries. And it really, it was laid on my heart to continue it and to take it. And so that's why I was like, I think now that I've done it, I have to go to Edinburgh, because it's been a lifelong dream for me to come here and bring a show here. I wanted to actually bring a show here as a director. So this is, this is a different way than what I thought I would come to. That was a very long explanation, Chris, but that's how we developed the Azure Sky in Oz.
That's so cool. Yeah, and you've got 2 different plays really that are linked. So it's like one that's split up. So that's good because you've got repeat business. You said that you don't have to go in any order. They still
That's
work.
right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And also Chris, because yours is improvised, you can go see yours for every single day. Or you can't though, because if you so I would say go to see Amanda's twice and then see all the rest of Chris's if you're in edit, because you can't do them both, unfortunately, unless
If you
you're some
see
sort of time
half of ours, we're going to be eternally grateful.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can always stream them. Yeah, which we've got the virtual Fringe as well. So if any of you want to put your streaming show on the virtual Fringe, we can still do that. Put them on the app. Still time. And yours, well, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, have you seen any shows already, Amanda and Chris? Either of you?
I have not.
Recommend? Oh, so you don't.
I have not either. I literally again just got in. Was walking around this lovely town. I have been in Edinburgh before, and it is lovely, but I have never been to the Fringe. This is my first Fringe ever. I am so thrilled to be here.
We're both virgins.
Yeah, both of you. Yeah, I was going to say, that's amazing. So you've got all the things to experience. Whatever it is, your first Fringe is going to be the one that colours your experiences. And you're going to be, it's not the same as that first year. So if you come 20 times, it'll be different every time in slightly different ways. But you'll still be trying to get that first experience and grab hold of it. But this will, oh gosh, and it's going to be amazing, I'm sure, for the both of you.
It's a bit overwhelming is what it is. I really don't even know where to start, to be perfectly honest.
I have some shows that I definitely am going to see.
Yes.
Lizard Boy musical. There's a friend of a friend who is a producer on that show. I'm definitely going to see that.
Where's that?
Where is it? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Lizard Boy the musical, and then I wanted to see The Funny Thing About Death, because she's a New York City actor, and we have people in common. So and her, all of her promo stuff looks really, really good. So I'm excited to see her show too. Yeah, I really want to see a lot of comedy and improv. I'm also an improviser. That's part of what I do back in New York City. And so I'm excited to go and see some comedy for sure.
Oh, yeah. And there's so much to choose from. Chris, have you seen anything in maybe the Free Fringe booklet or the big booklet that you're thinking?
I ran across a couple improv shows that stuck out. The thing is, I'm very, what's the word? I'm very timid in the way I'm looking. And I think the things that jump out at me are the things I have some familiarity with. So I really wanted to see Baby Wants Candy, which is a group, I believe, based out of Chicago, and they do musical improv. And I've seen them in Chicago way back when. But I think, unfortunately, they're also competing with our time slot, Amanda. So
oh, no. It's a good time slot.
It's going to work out.
Yeah,
it really is.
You should, if you're there for a certain amount of time, you should always make sure that you've booked 1 or 2 days before or afterwards to see some other people's shows, because then you get the whole panoply. Is that the word? You get everything. You get some sort of, it's good. And also, the first few years I went up there, I tried to get in all to the members bars and try and network and get in there and go, oh, I'm in the secret clique. It's all so fun, which is not so easy if you're only here for a week, and also not so easy if you don't know how to get in those places. But it's probably not, you think you're doing some good because you see famous people or people you know and you go, oh, but networking's hard, and it probably, what actually ends up happening is you just drink cocktails till 5 o'clock in the morning and spend all your money and then realize that didn't help. So also, I think the more mature you get, the more you go, yes, that's not going to be my thing this time. But have you got any big plans for when you're not doing your show for the next couple of days or whole month for you?
I'm here with my husband, and he's going to be traveling and doing day trips and stuff. I'm not planning any of that. I'm really planning on seeing as much theater as possible. What's been interesting about the networking bit is that in my normal life and in my theater life, I don't normally have very much of a social media presence. But I have met so many people. That's how I connected with you, Elise, is through, I think, Facebook. But it's been such a supportive network of people via social media. And so I've been trying to do a better job in that way, but not from a promo standpoint. It's been a really supportive place. Now, the in-person part of it, I still feel like I'm trying to figure out my way through it. Today's the media blitz that's happening at 1:00, and I'm not expecting I'm not expecting it to be anything. I'm just showing up and trying to stay positive. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, good because the Fringe Central's right next to both of your venues. That is, but I heard somebody said that it's really difficult to find. It's not properly signposted. It's somewhere in there. It's secret.
The St. James Quarter, yeah, they think they finally put some signage because they did the TikTok workshops and stuff earlier in the week. And I was like walking around, I was like, I don't know where it is. And someone saw me and they were like, are you looking for this place? So I think they fixed the signage, but maybe not.
I believe I walked right by it. If that's what I was looking at, because they had all the TikTok signs up there. And I believe that was next to the station, the rail station.
It's right by there, but it looks like a when there's a new apartment building that opens up and there's like a rental office, that's what it looks like. It's a very, I don't know. So yeah.
I mean, in previous years they've been based near the Gilded Balloon. There's been a little bit of a university building, and the whole thing has been set up, and you can go in and sort it out. And it's had big signage, but I know one year that it was in a tiny little building just near the assembly rooms, and everyone just walked past it. It was like, what's this? But it wasn't even big enough for anyone. So I think it might be somewhere in between this time. I haven't seen it, obviously, but Fringe Central, it's just for the performers and the people that are working on the shows, really. So it's not for the public. So maybe they're trying to keep it like some sort of secret club for you. So you go, whoa, I found it. I know where it is. So, you said the food is good. Is there any other places that you've eaten already or are planning to eat?
We tried to get reservations to the kitchen, but we couldn't get in. But we're going to their sister restaurant tonight, Cora, I think it's called. What else have I had? Oh, Mother India rocked my world. The place is dope. Really, really good.
That's just off the high street, isn't it? Yeah, just down a little.
On where?
It's just off the high street. As you going down, there's a little side street. Is that where Mother India is?
Side street. There's a really cool little pub right next to it. But I can't remember the name of it either.
No, I know. I think we had it as green something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is like maybe the best Indian food I've ever had. It was really, really good. And the baked potato shop is it's right around from my apartment, and so I'm all about that place.
I think the longer you're in Edinburgh, the more baked potatoes you'll end up eating.
I'm good with it.
But you, Chris, if you're planning on eating anywhere,
I'm planning on eating somewhere. Funny, I'd love some recommendations. I do remember, and this is I'm gonna not have the place to name in my head, but I do remember the first time I was here. We did a bunch of very touristy things, and we visited the castle. And I know as you walk out of the castle, there's a whole lovely street that has all sorts of people performing on the street, and then there's a couple of places, and we went into one of those just off the side that had some lovely vegetarian haggis, and people were playing traditional Celtic type Scottish music in there, and it was quite lovely. And I do not remember what that place was called, so so I'll go there again. That's where I'll do.
Yeah, send me a message and I'll say something in the shows to come.
The place that has the music and the haggis,
Yeah, one of those places. There's lots of places. When I was there, I went on the search for having a nice cup of coffee, and I found it quite difficult to find. There's two places that I found. One was, I think, Black Medicine. Is that still there? Have you been all the way up? If you keep going down Nicholson Street, you'll eventually go there. And there's a place in Leith. They were the two best places for coffee, but they are quite far apart, really. But I ended up just buying stuff from a supermarket and eating it in the street in the end.
Oh, that's an option.
There's a lot of fine dining over in Leith. That's a little area. I think maybe I would be interested in staying in Leith the next time I came back here. I think it's really beautiful over there.
It is, and it's more gentrified than it was the first time I went there. I stayed there in a hostel that end, and it was very cold that summer. There was a wind going all the way down Leith
right
Street.
on the water. Yeah,
very cold, and I got very lost because I took the wrong bus and ended up in what was the Docklands now, and I think it's nice and safe now. But when I went there, I got very lost, and there was this little person wearing a red like Macintosh, and I got very, because have you seen Don't Look Now? With
Yeah.
I got very was like, oh, and I need to ask for directions, so I asked this person for directions. I was like, oh, it's so awful. So I think Leith now is probably lovely and safe, but Leith about 15 years ago was a bit scary in the middle of the night. It's probably lovely now.
I think at least your suggestion of eating stuff from the grocery store sounds like a good one, because I do have a budget, and I think most of that's going to have to go to shows and alcohol.
Yeah, or you can see a lot of free Fringe shows where, I mean, you are encouraged to give a donation, and I would encourage people to give a donation. But if you absolutely don't have any money, then I'm sure people will be fine that you just go in and also if you're a free Fringe show and it's sort of mutual admiration, you can just go there and give them claps and warmth and welcome, and so you can see a load of those shows to save the money, and maybe share the grocery haul that you found in Lidl. There's a nice Lidl if you keep going down Nicholson Street. Get all the food there and bring it in a little knapsack, and then just eat it. Maybe in Fringe Central. Go in Fringe Central or on the outside the Omni Centre and eat your little food, and then everything will be lovely. Share it with other acts from the Free Fringe that are probably also going to be like, I've got no money left. Because even though it's a free entry with donations, it is very expensive to come here, don't you find? Yeah.
I'm living on protein bars. That's my whole, that's my strategy. I've got the Lara bars and some yogurts, and I just eat those, and then I have one big meal a day. That's tends to be the way that I rock it out. There's a Italian market, and they have a French menu there too. What's it called? It's it doesn't matter. They're fresh. They have a restaurant in there as well, but their fresh pasta and their fresh stuff is so good. Highly recommend going there, Chris. But you will never know the name because I don't remember it either.
I think I know this market because I think I was there last time I was here, and I don't know the name either. This is we're the perfect guests, Elise. We don't know the names of anything.
It's fine. I can guide you. If you've been to the Moss Kitchen, have you been to the Moss Kitchen?
No, but I'm excited about that.
Yes, because that is cheap, and if you're a vegetarian, if you're a meat eater, and it is just if you don't like Indian food, it's probably a bit of a problem.
Oh.
But otherwise, it's a lot of variety.
That's the name of the place.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That looks nice. Yeah.
Valvona and Crolla, their food is excellent. Highly recommend.
I'll also give a special shout out to the London Road Garden. That's where I figured out I am.
Okay. The London Rose Garden.
A lovely place to sit if you need to have a chat.
Okay, so which part are you in? I mean, how did you get there?
Roughly the east. I walked. I am about a 5-minute hike from CC Bloom's, so it's the large park just east of CC Bloom's. It's like the very horizontal park. It looks like a sideways teardrop.
I know what you mean. I thought you were more central, but yeah, that's good. I stayed down that. This sort of Leith Walk, just off there.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Does CC Bloom's have any relation to the movie Beaches? It does.
I have heard that.
Yes,
go ahead.
That's what it's named after. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. Is so sad, but also one of my like when I'm sad, I'm like I want to watch Beaches and cry. But CC Bloom is her. That's her performing name at the very beginning.
Exactly, and that's what it's named after. Yeah, you're both in amazing venues, which are clubs outside the Fringe and actually in the Fringe, I think. But yes, so those are very nice, welcoming, inclusive venues, both of them. Oh, you're going to have so much fun, your first Fringe, but make sure that you keep hydrated, rest, but also find time for networking and seeing other people's shows. Absolutely. So I'm going to probably end this quite soon, but is there anything else you want to tell us about your show and why you should come to your show? Amanda first.
Wow. Okay. Come see my show because it will rejuvenate your faith in humanity. These women, they are just forces of energy and light. And I think that these stories of autism and neurodivergence, they have to be told more because it's not just about those who have a neurodivergent something going on. It's about the people who take care of them. And I think that if you're looking to see something that's funny, but also an unflinching drama that looks at the life of two people who've really had to struggle and triumphed in amazing ways, then come see my show.
And Chris, why should you come see your show?
Well, I can't guarantee this will change your outlook on life, but hopefully you'll see something very unexpected, very new, and maybe you'll even learn something a little bit about science along the way. Do you mind if I plug a couple of the people in my other shows?
No, you go ahead. Plug them all. Plug away.
Yes. So a couple of us are also involved in the Cambridge Impronauts and are doing, some shows with them. So if you see the Cambridge Impronauts anytime, I think they're doing the whole month's worth of shows. Another great improv group from Cambridge. You might see Eliza or one of our other members play with them. And Dave Winterbottom, who is in our group, is doing a one-person show. It's happening right now, I believe. We're actually competing with their show. And they do, you know what? I can't even describe it because I haven't seen it yet, but I will. I believe they're doing like an improv one-person show that's a random selection of games and stuff. It sounds bonkers. It sounds amazing. That's called Ludo Maki. It's also part of the Free Fringe. And that's at 11 o'clock. I don't know where. But it's
you don't know where. I will have a little look and maybe put something in the information box after this has gone, so that it's free to. It's going to be on demand as soon as it stops being live. So it's going to have a life of its own after that. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic Fringe. Good luck with both your shows. And yeah, I'm really sad I can't be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having us.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm ending the broadcast.